everyone. I'm Lauren Dalvia. I'm an astrologer and spiritual teacher here at Bene Mudra. This is an astro update for April 25th through May 2nd. I'm going to give everybody like a little hit for their sign, their sun sign and their rising sign. But first, I want to concentrate this week on a fuller across the board reading on a couple of placements that are happening over the next couple of days that will be felt throughout the week. This is Sunday night, the 25th, and we're in a run up to an enormous full moon in Scorpio, which is happening on Monday, the 26th. It will be in its fullness on the 26th, but we will be feeling the reverberations of it for several days afterwards. If you know your chart and you do have planets in fixed signs, Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, you will in the early degrees. So that means 0 to 12 degrees. You're going to be feeling this the most. But everyone's going to be feeling this full moon. It is sun in Taurus, moon in Scorpio. It's a what goes around comes around moon, and it's really unpredictable and digging underground. We also have this full moon is also opposite the planet Uranus or Uranus in Taurus. And that planet Uranus is square Saturn in Aquarius. So what that looks like is it's very, very volatile. You have Uranus or Uranus, which is the planet of surprise and innovation and vision, in this tense square, which is like the kind of the major placement that's happening throughout this year with Saturn, and which is the planet of rules and restrictions. So you have these two opposite forces tensing up to one another, exactly opposite this enormous full moon, which feeds off all of our energy. It feeds off our energy on Earth, and it feeds off this other planetary energy. So full moons in Scorpio are intense by definition. Scorpio energy is arguably the most intense. The reason that is because Scorpio deals with daily living and daily dying in a way that other signs do not. Scorpio goes all the way underground to unlock and unleash all the buried treasure, all the secrets, everything, everything that is buried under. So this moon is no exception. We also have Mars in Cancer this week, and this is affecting everybody. That's why I'm kind of taking the time to kind of be more broad strokes this week rather than go into great detail about each sign. Mars has also just entered Cancer, and so Mars, the planet of war and aggression and volatility, has also entered the water sign of Cancer. So this fuels our emotions even more, while Uranus seeks an outlet for them, despite Saturn's effort to keep us in check. It's just a lot of energy. So if it feels crunchy, this combo is dynamic. When there is tension, when there is friction, things happen. So, but change is always a good thing, even if it doesn't always feel that way. So, this full moon is a sun moon opposition, Taurus versus Scorpio. So it's a reflection of the qualities of the opposite signs. So the full moon in Scorpio is a reflection of what is going on in Taurus. And so we have Scorpio, is covenants. Scorpio is debt. Freedom bears consequences. Everything we do has a ripple effect. We pay our dues sooner or later. Goes around, always comes around. This is Scorpio is naturally ruled by the 8th house, which is the house of sex and death and debts and taxes and inheritances. What goes around comes around. It sounds like maybe bad. It's not. It's like the natural order of things. So in our desire to be free and not to worry about the future, we want to own stuff. But the more we own, the more people, the more we pile up and the more we become a slave to our possessions. Stuff needs to be put to use. Money needs to circulate. Those kind of cycles happen. So Taurus, so this is a full moon of opposition, Taurus versus Scorpio. So Taurus is mine and Scorpio is ours. So of course, owning stuff is an absolutely necessary process in our development. If you don't have food in the fridge, you starve. You know, if you don't have warm clothes, you get sick. So Taurus teaches us to become self-autonomous and take care of ourselves. However, once we achieve this goal, from a certain point onwards, we realize that we can only go so far on our own. There comes a point always when we're better off joining forces or merging with another entity. So it's just realizing, like, and then we have Scorpio, which is associated with transformation, letting go, purging, going underground. When you say Scorpio, you automatically think of like, what do I need to let go of? So the big mission in this full moon is like, really, like, I know it always seems with astrological stuff and where it's like the full moon, like, let go of that which does not serve. It's sort of this flowery thing that is often said. When the energy is this much in Scorpio opposite the container of Taurus, which is like, what's the container that's holding everything? And Scorpio is like the transformation that like goes underneath the depths of everything. It's really asking us like, what do we need to let go so that the new us can be reborn? So this is a really, really excellent opportunity for everyone to say, what am I clinging to? What freedom can I find by letting go of what is mine? Where am I stuck? How can I repurpose so I can move forward? And who am I no longer willing to be? Who am I becoming? So it's actually an excellent time to offer a new version of ourselves to the universe in prayer, in love, in vision, concrete actions, vision boards. You know, you can make it as concrete as you want. You can make it as artistic as you want, but that is something that I suggest in terms of working with this like howling with the moon energy. So it's just going to be super heavy for everyone. And then on the 27th, and this full moon placement will be felt for several days. I mean, it's going to kind of rule over the week. In addition to that, on the 27th, we have Pluto stationing. So what happens when a planet stations direct or retrograde, especially an outer planet where like Uranus, Pluto and Neptune, they spend almost half the year retrograde. So it's not a big deal that they are retrograde or they're moving forward. That's not what the news story is. The news story is when it stops dead in the sky and changes directions. And that's what's happening this week with Pluto. So you have this transformational energy amplified even more, and it's crunchier and rougher and heavier and more intense in the run up and the stationary days. Once it starts moving in either direction and gains some traction in like a day or two, it's much gentler. Like the energy is much broken up. But when any planet is seemingly stopped dead in the sky, it amplifies that energy. And this planet that we're talking about is Pluto, which is arguably the strongest energy. I mean, it's just the most transformational energy. And so what has to happen in order for transformation to take place? Like, it ain't pretty. I mean, it's just like, what happens for a butterfly to become a butterfly? It's like a really bizarre, gnarly, ugly, strange process. I'm not saying everybody is in store for an ugly week. It's just, when we feel broken open and broken apart and like we're going into the depths and we're kind of tapping into a deeper well, that is transformational energy. That is Scorpio, that is Pluto, and that's what we're dealing with here. So it just is heavy. So I say that not as a warning, but as a like, be kind to yourself. And like, if it feels heavier, it is. And like everything in astrology, and one of the reasons why I love to be reminded of astrology and to study astrology is that it is always moving. Everything is moving. The full moon, you know, you feel so intense the night of the full moon and the day, but then it breaks up. And so, you know, if only we could remember that the fullness of everything kind of passes, like it is, you know, it is brief, but potent energy. So I'll just do a little bit of hit, you know, Aries and Aries rising. This really gets straight to the point. You know, you're gonna see expectations reveal themselves. You're gonna see inequities reveal themselves. This is a no bullshit placement. So you just want to be as mindful as possible of resentments, fears, and insecurities, and just kind of recognizing them is a very important step in terms of like shifting reality. Taurus sun reminds us to be really practical, and that the solutions are often practical. So do you just want to work with what is strong and solid, and just know, be aware of like what freedom it is that you're seeking, and know that innovation is taking place. Taurus, this is about intimacy between people. So you can, how bright this spotlight is on intimacy issues this week, this can really intensify any issues around intimacy, and anything that was brushed aside is now going to be unearthed. So it's not subtle. The moon unearths what needs to be looked at, healed, released. So it's very important to give respect. You might be focused deeply on partnerships, but by the end of the week, the focus will certainly be back to you. And this is your opportunity to get really in touch with what sovereignty means to you. Gemini, this is mind body stuff. You just want to make sure that what's going on underneath is being felt and being seen. There's going to be really disruptive reality that shows up in our minds this week, especially with Gemini energy. So this is a really, really good opportunity to lean deeply into discomfort, ask it what it wants, know that your ideas are your best friend, but your mind is not always. Like your mind, there's a spot behind your mind that we need to dip into, and that's the place where your essence and soul will reveal itself, and you will be asked to do that this week. So you just want to listen to the tale, to the truth that your mind is telling you, and then lean in for the real tale. Cancer. It's a big creative week for you. So whatever's been going on in the last 6 months, that comes up this week. You just want to embrace that. Know that things take time. There's emotional responses will be unearthed this week from you and from others. You just want to, this is about caring less about what others think, and more about being unfettered yourself. It's really a self cleanse going on, that your authenticity is exactly where you need to be. You can bathe in your authenticity and not look to others to validate that authenticity. Leo, this is a surprise week. There's a lot of surprise energy. So it's just like a really good time to, practice the subtle art of not giving a fuck. And you might need to kind of flip things around. To not be afraid of like wild ideas, and just to jump out with whatever kind of there's genius touching your idea mechanism this week. Just know that your potency is at an all-time high right now, and just pay attention to subtle insight. Virgo, this is a real invitation to just own yourself, and that your days belong to you. Your truth belongs to you. Your ways of being belong to you. It's a lot of life is about being of service for Virgo energy, and you don't need to hold any more tightly to whatever image you have of yourself than you already are. You can let go and really dig into your authenticity. Libra. So there's a big awakening energy happening for Libra. So you want to watch for greed. You want to own the fact that you want things and desire things. It's okay. You're invited to really lean into luxuriousness and dreams and hopes, and you just want to make sure that what you are hoping for and wishing for isn't something that's going to create more dis-ease. This full moon is reminding us that we're human, and that we can't separate from divinity. So you know, when we're merged with that, we're in our true magic. So you can, and you're also invited to marry that magic with concrete steps that you've taken in the last like half year or so to be mindful of your numbers, your bank account, your security. If you feel like you haven't paid as close attention to that as you might have, you know, that might be illuminated, but it is an invitation to lean deeper in and also be very kind. Scorpio, this is a big light being shown on you. It's shining on your talents, you know, your deep ability to see, you know, to see underground, to see underneath, to see through. You know, your magnetism is at an all-time high. This is honesty time. You know, you won't accept anything less, and you're being asked to be as deeply honest as possible. You also need to take your time though, because it's so much coming up. And you're being asked to nurture yourself a very great deal. Sagittarius, this is illuminating deep things far into the psyche right now. So this is stuff that's been unearthed for a very long time is becoming conscious. That's heavy. It's definitely heavy. You know, you just, you know, what hasn't been working becomes quite obvious. And so too does the path to freedom. So the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. So you know, the surrender is like accepting what you perceive your destiny to be, accept what you perceive your ambitions are. And, you know, surrender that to whatever your physical experience is and your physical routine and how that needs to be altered. You need to be willing to disrupt this week, disrupt who you, like your own ways of being, to tailor who you really are and who you are being and becoming. Capricorn. This is illuminating friendship. It's also illuminating desire for connection. You're also, everything that's not working and needs to be exposed in those areas is going to be, this is connected to social networks. You might also be witnessing these changes in people close to you. You're being asked to be very mindful of justice this week. So, you know, this is reminding us that what we desire in the world needs to be something that is nurtured and created intentionally locally. Aquarius, this is about career. This is about accomplishment. This is about, you know, what, this is about, you know, life level of intensity. My Persian cat, my Aquarius cat actually has come in to say hello to us. This is Mukti. This is tail. Anyway, sorry, Aquarius, this is all about work, our calling, our vocation. It's just time to kind of, you know, go into the depths of our talent and ability and craft. It's about marrying work ability with magic. It's a big time for alchemy. You want to make sure that you're reaching out for support. You are supported, but you want to make sure that you're aligning yourself with that support and foundation. The foundation is what needs to be watered and regenerated in terms of, in order for what you're trying to grow to really multiply and give you the fruits of what is being offered to you this week, which is a great deal. Pisces, this is illuminating all the work that you've done actually, and the depth of your journey. So this is about faith This is going to shake you awake, this moon, like any areas that you're still asleep. It's just offering you to see things in a different light, including routine and daily life. Where are you not being freedom seeking? Where is your home life, work routine, just, you know, your relationship to service to yourself and others? Like, where is that not being tended to properly? What would you do if you had all the time in the world, is the question that's being asked of you. So just lean into this moon. Know that it's going to be a wild ride. Know that you're safe, supported, and protected. Know that the future is friendly. I am, as ever, available at benemudra.com for private consultation and with spiritual teaching and astrology, karmic astrology, soul astrology. I do life purpose and soul mission readings, as well as natal chart readings. I love working with my students. I can be found also on Instagram at Lauren, LAUREN _Dalvia, DALVIA. Have a beautiful week, and thank you all.